Hello everyone. In the previous class, we have discussed about modules and we have seen components of a Verilog module with the help of example SR latch. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about the ports. Ports provide the interface by which a module can communicate with its environment. So as we have used different ICs and we know that ICs have few pins, so those pins are nothing but the ports, and those pins of a IC are going to be used for communication purpose. It is used to communicate with its environment, that is few devices wires are connected with the IC so that the IC will transfer the data or IC can receive the data through its ports or port pins. So for example, the input or output pins of a IC chips are its ports. The environment can interact with the module only through its ports. So remember that if your design or if your IC has ports, then only you can communicate or you can interact with the its external environment. So the internal of the modules are not visible to the environment. Remember here, whatever the internal things, the circuitry that is inside the module is not visible to the external environment. So whatever the input or output is going to pass to and fro from the ports only. So this provides a very powerful flexibility to the designer. The internal of the module can be changed without affecting the environment as long as the interface is not modified. You can modify the internals, the circuitry within the chip, so that will not affect the environment as long as the interface is not modified. So the complete interface itself, if you are not modifying, it will not affect anything here. So ports are also called as terminals. List of ports. So a module definition contains an optional list of ports. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the module, in which we came to know that the compulsory part of any design or any module is the keyword module followed by a module name and end module. So other than this, remaining all the things are optional. Whichever the concept or things that you want, that you can include within the module. So similarly here, the ports, the module definition contain an optional list of ports. Ports is also a optional. If you want to have an communication or interaction with the external environment, then only you will be having some ports. If the module does not exchange any signals with the environment, or if your module is not going to communicate with external environment, then there is no need of a ports. That's why if ports are necessary, then only you can use them in your module. So consider an example, a 4-bit full adder. So as we know that the 4-bit full adder that we have discussed in digital electronics subject. So 4-bit full adder, that is going to be instantiated inside a top level module. The name of the top level module is top. So the diagram for the input output port is shown in the next slide. So see here, this is the full adder diagram, that is 4-bit full adder. The name of the 4-bit full adder is full add 4. So as it is a 4-bit full adder, it consists of 4 A inputs, 4 B inputs and 1 Cin input, and 4 sum output and 1 carry output. So here only a list, it is listed in abstract way. The inputs are A, B, Cin, and output is sum and carry out. So this figure shows the input and output port for a top and full adder. So observe that the top is a top module. TOP, top, is the name of the top module, whereas it do not have any port. Top module do not have any port, but full add 4 has both the type of ports, that is input ports and output ports, because it is going to communicate with the top module, whereas top module is not going to communicate with its external environment. That's why it do not have any ports. So it is ports are optional for a module. So observe that in the above figure, the module top is a top level module. As I told you, module top is a top level module. The module full add is instantiated below top. So here top level module is top. Within that the instantiation is done. The module name of the instantiation is full add 4. So the module full add 4 takes inputs on the 3 ports, that is A, B and C, and produces an output port, that is sum and C out. Therefore module full add 4 performs an addition for its environment. As it is a 4-bit full adder, it is going to perform addition operation for its environment. Its environment is a top module. So the module top is a top level module in the simulation and does not need to pass the signals to or receive signals from its environment. So as we have seen in the figure, the top is a top level module in the simulation, which is going to act as a stimulus or test bench, and it does not need to pass the values or signals to, or it does not require to receive the signals from the environment, that is external environment. That's why it does not have any ports. Top module do not have any ports. So example, the list of ports. So module top full add 4. So module full add 4 has list of ports, that is sum, C out, A, B, C in. That's why how to declare the ports here for full add 4. So module is a keyword, full add 4 is the name of the module. Then we have a port list. That's why we are declaring sum, C out, A, B, C in. So this module with a list of ports. Whereas we have another module that is called as top level module, top. So module is a keyword, top is the name of the module. So it do not have any port list. That's why just put a termination sign, that is semicolon, because no list of ports, top level module in the simulation. That's why we do not have the port list. Next, port declaration. So all the ports in the list of port must be declared in the module. So in the Verilog, the ports have the keywords. So the keyword input, 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 all the small case letters are used. So the type of port is, as the keyword itself suggests, it is a input port. For the output port, the keyword is output, OUT, PUT, all small case letters. There is one more port which is a bidirectional port, which can be act as both input and output. So for that one, the keyword used is in out, without any space between the in and out. It is continuous in out small case letter. So these are the keywords used for port declaration. That is, if you have a input ports, then you can declare it as input. If you have a output ports, then declare them as a output. Then if you have any bidirectional ports, then you can declare them as a in out. So each port in the list is defined as input, output or in out based on the direction of the port signal. So direction means if for full adder, if it is coming into the full add 4, so it is going to be input. If full add 4 itself is producing some result and it is passing outside environment, then it will be output. Like this, the direction, based on the direction, the ports are defined. Thus, for an example of the full adder, the port declaration will be as shown below. So the example port declaration for the full add 4 module. So module full add 4, the list sum cout a comma b comma c in semicolon. Now see the begin port declaration section. So here you can declare the ports. Now observe here, output is a output port, that's why OUT PUT output. Here sum, for full add 4, it has 4 sum bits, that is sum 0, sum 1, sum 2 and sum 3. Instead of declaring the 4 different sum variables, you can do, what you can do is, you can declare that sum as a vector 3 down to 0. Here 3 is the most significant bit and 0 is the least significant bit. So output 3 down to 0 sum is a output port. Then you have one more output port, that is cout, which is a scalar. So output cout. Now output ports are declared. Now we have 3 different input ports A, B, C in which A and B, again these are 4 bits. That's why input 3 down to 0 A comma B. Either you can declare A and B both in a same input by separating with the comma, or else you can declare it separately, input 3 down to 0 A semicolon input 3 down to 0 B semicolon, like this. Next, one more input we have, that is scalar input, that is seen, it is single bit. So end of the port declaration. Like this you can declare the ports, output port, input port. So then remaining part will be as per the type of modeling. You can write the internals, that is using either behavioral, structural or data flow modeling, that we have not yet covered. Not all the port declarations are implicitly declared as wire in Verilog. Remember here, all the port declarations are implicitly declared as wire in Verilog. By default, if you do not mention any data type, it will be a wire by default. So implicitly they are declared as a wire in Verilog. Thus, if port is intended to be a wire, it is sufficient to be declared it as an input, output or in out. So suppose if you want to have a wire, you need not to declare them as wire explicitly. Directly you can just declare them as a port, input or output or in out, it becomes a wire. So input or output ports are normally declared as wires here. Either you can specify wires, or even though if you do not specify, by default it will be a wire. However, if output ports holds their value, they must be declared as reg. Remember here, in a top module, the output ports are going to be used for holding some values or holding some results. That's why usually in those cases, the output must be declared as a reg, not as wire. Wire is different and reg is different. So for example, in the definition of D flip-flop, so in the previous module we have seen a definition of the D flip-flop. You can once again you can observe it. We wanted the output Q to retain its value until the next clock edge. As we know that in the flip-flops, the next output is dependent on the previous output. Okay, that's why the output Q is going to be holding some value, so until the next clock edge appears. So after the next clock edge appears, based on this its previous output, next output is going to be defined. That's why Q has to retain some value, that's why it is declared as a reg. So the port declaration of D flip-flop we look as shown in the below example. So see here, module D flip flop Q D clock reset output Q. So output Q is again declared as reg because output port Q holds some value. So therefore it is declared as a reg. Whereas input D clock reset, by default D clock reset are wires. So port of the type input and in out cannot be declared as reg. Remember here, either input or in out if you have in your module, you should not declare them as a reg, because reg variables store values, whereas input ports should not store any values. They are only going to reflect whatever the changes that is going to be happen in the external signals. Whatever the external signals that we are applying, if any change happens, then only they are going to reflect them. That's why you need not to declare them as a reg, simply they are a wires. So the input ports should not store values, but they are going to reflect some changes in the external signals they are connected to. So here note that the module full add 4 can be declared using an ANSI C style syntax to specify the port of the module. So there is one more type of declaration, the same thing, but only the style is different here. That is, in the ANSI C style syntax, we can declare the list of ports. So each declared port provides the complete information about the port. Next example shows this alternative syntax. So either you can use the previous syntax or the next syntax, whichever you are comfortable with, that you can use. It is not mandatory that you have to use the particular one. So the syntax avoids the duplication of the naming the ports in both the module definition statement and the module port list. So as we have seen in the previous example, we have listed once, then again we have declared either it is input port or output port, then again we have mentioned the same port list. That's why it is nothing but a duplication. Two times we are declaring we are using the same name. That's why, to avoid that duplication of naming the ports in both the module definition statement and the module port list definition, we can use the ANSI C style, in which only one time listing as well as declaration of port is done in a combined way. So if a port is declared but no data type is specified, then under specific circumstances the signal will be default to wire data type. So as we have already discussed, the port, if a port we are declaring but we are not mentioning any data type like reg, wire, integer or real like this, then by default it will be wire only. So remember here, if you declare any input, any output, and if you are not mentioning any data type with that one, so then it will be by default it is used as a wire. So see the example, the ANSI C style port declaration syntax. Now observe here, module full add 4. So here earlier what we have done, we have just listed the port list, output ports and input port, but we have not mentioned them as output port or input port. Then within the module we have declared them as output and input, but instead of that one, but there what happens, there is a duplication of the list as well as in the declaration. That's why, to avoid that one, we can use the ANSI C style, in which the declaration itself is done within a module. So output reg 3 down to 0 sum, output reg C out, input 3 down to 0 a comma b, input scene. So observe this example and the previous example, you will come to know the difference. So directly here it is, during the list itself we have declared the ports also. So observe inputs a, b and scene we have not mentioned as a wire, so they are going to be, by default they are going to be wire. Then remaining part of the internals can be done with the help of behavioral modeling, structural modeling or data flow modeling, depending upon the requirement. Then end module. So this is about the ANSS C style port declaration. Thank you for watching the video.